Hi everyone, Matt and I are here once again to finish the Salesperson's Guide to Video series. So far we've covered the desktop setup, the mobile setup, and the studio setup. We've talked to you about using your phone, your computer, and a camera for your recording. So we're finishing up the series with the on-location setup.
We think the on-location setup is perfect for community videos. In our Real Estate Video Influencers Guide, we have a section dedicated to community videos. We got guys like Michael Thorne, Brandon Porter, Craig Veroni. All these guys are crushing it with their community videos.
So if you've watched the other parts of this series, hopefully you've gotten a little more comfortable on camera, you've gotten more comfortable with the gear. So now it's time to put all those skills to use and collaborate with other like-minded individuals.
We're going to show you the gear from both the basic and the pro setup. We actually went out and shot some footage. We contacted a local coffee shop and shot our very own community video just to show you how it's done.
So like I said before, this is all gear we have covered in previous parts of this series. We're more going to talk about how to use them later on. So to start, we suggest using your phone and a selfie stick. We already covered the mobile setup, so if you do want more tips on this, you can go back and watch that part to this series. But for starters, you'll want your phone, you'll want a selfie stick. When you're on the go, this is also great because it's just easy to pack up and take with you anywhere. You could honestly grab this really quick before running out the door, even if you aren't sure if you'll take any on-the-go video, but you'll know you have all the gear with you and it's really easy to keep in a small bag. So the next thing we suggest having is a lapel mic. So I think we have an example here. So you can see you can just clip it right on. So if you are out there doing on-the-go videos, chances are there's some noise going on around you. You're probably outside. We were in a coffee shop where there are some noises going on. This helps you get really good sound and picks up what you're saying, even if there's some noise around you. And the last piece of gear we recommend for a basic on-the-go setup is an external lens for your phone. So we also covered this in the mobile setup. We have a moment lens. We just love the quality that this gives to your video. It also has a case, so you have to put this case on your phone first, and then the lens will easily attach for you. But we used this today and got some great video. So that's just a basic rundown of the gear we suggest for a really easy setup when you're on the go. Matt's gonna cover the pro setup, show you that gear, and then we're gonna really dig into how we filmed our community video, how we did this on the go, and our tactics for that.
So now I'm going to talk about the pro gear for the on-the-go setup. First, we got the DSLR. Here at BombBomb, we use the Canon 80D. You can also use a mirrorless camera, but the nice thing about these cameras is that you can swap lenses. So if you have another Canon lens, like here's the kit lens, it's a 18 to 135 millimeter lens. So you got a nice zoom. You just snap it on there, and now you can zoom in. But I mean, I use a variety of lenses. I have a wide-angle Tokino lens that works with Canon that I use. I love the 50. Everyone should have a 50 millimeter lens because you can get a nice depth of field, a nice shallow focus. A really fun piece of equipment is a DSLR gimbal. Here at BombBomb, we use the Zhiyun gimbal, but there's a variety of brands that make great gimbals like DJI, so you can find quality gimbals from all sorts of different companies. But here, I'll open it up and show you what it looks like. Here it is. So you gotta screw in the battery. The thing about the gimbals is that you gotta make sure that your DSLR is properly balanced on it or it's not gonna shoot well. Power it up, see how this works. All right, there we go. And so this is what it does. Now you're nice and stable. You can change modes so that, isn't that cool? So a lot of us are using the phone gimbals, but if you have a DSLR and you're looking for the same kind of stabilization, you might want to look into these. They're a little more expensive. They're usually $300-400, but usually worth the investment. So next we have the Lav mic, which is great if you're shooting at a distance. You can have the receiver plugged into your camera. You can have the transmitter attached to the person like this. And you have great audio. Last but not least, we have the portable tripod. This one we've mentioned before. This is the Manfrotto Fluid Head. Great portable tripod. Manfrottos are a little more expensive. You're gonna pay a few $100s more, but worth it for, like, this thing won't break. This thing will last. You have the nice fluid head movement, it's got it all, and you can throw it in your carry-on bag. It's super portable, pretty lightweight, easy to grab. I actually use it to shoot handheld too because it's just so easy to use. Easy just to throw it on a table or extend the legs and get a quick shot of yourself. So highly recommend this Manfrotto. The Manfrotto Be Free Live, worth the investment. So between the Manfrotto tripod and the DSLR gimbal, you can get some really high production value video.
So now you know some of the gear you can use for your on-the-go videos, but we're gonna tell you some use cases in case you need some ideas. So to start, we think on-the-go can be great for if you wanna do a day in the life of type videos, and you could do this of yourself, or you could ask someone you wanna highlight, and you could show people what their day looks like as well. That would involve kind of following them around, so that's where the gimbal would come in handy, or the selfie stick. So you could also use the on-the-go setup to do an interview style video. So if you wanted to interview a colleague or a coworker, you could go to a coffee shop and use your on-the-go setup and ask them a couple of questions there. But in our case, we did a community video, and we also did this somewhat interview style, but we talked to the coffee shop owner.
There's a lot of benefits to shooting community videos. One of them is just that it gets your name out there. So if if you're highlighting a coffee shop in your town and then you post it on social media, they'll share it on their social media. And it also just shows that you're involved in your community and that you're an expert in your community. You know what's going on, you know the places that are worth highlighting and that are worth sharing. And it kind of builds into this concept of being the digital mayor of your town.
So we realized here that we have highlighted parts of our community, but we haven't really planned out a community video. So that's where Matt and I sat down and kind of worked through how we wanted to do that, just to show examples for you guys. So what we did was we had a coffee shop here in town, really close to our office that we had a connection to. So I reached out to the owner and we scheduled a shoot there. I think if you're not asking for anything in return, it's really easy to get people to agree to community videos. You're highlighting them, you're helping them out, you're not asking for things in return, so most people should say yes.
No one's gonna say no to that because it's basically free advertising.
So we scheduled the shoot and headed over there, and we brought both of our on-the-go setups. I had my phone and was taking some iPhone video, and Matt had his DSLR.
Yeah, I had the tripod, the DSLR, we had all the gear, and we used all of it for the video.
So we made sure while we were there, Matt got some great B-roll of the whole place. We filmed an introduction in front of the location.
So I used the DSLR. I brought a few different lenses so I could get a variety of shots. I got some wide shots. It's good to get some wide shots just to establish the setting. And I also used the 50mm lens for the interview.
So while interviewing, I tried to ask questions where you don't necessarily need to hear what I asked, but you get a good response. And then when you have footage like that, you can use it over the B-roll. So I think you probably will take some of the answers she gave and put it over B-roll of the shop.
So when you're shooting the interview, the audio is the most important because you're probably going to use B-roll through most of the video. So that's when I use the Lapel Mic, and that'll make a huge difference in the overall quality of the video.
Typically you're working with people who aren't on camera a lot, and so by adding some B-roll, you're not having long shots of them talking. They'll feel more comfortable watching this back, seeing B-roll thrown in there and not just long shots of them talking as well.
Right, and people don't want to just look at a talking head. They'd rather see actual shots of what the person's talking about than just watch them talk. I also use the gimbal for the community video. Having the ability to be mobile with the gimbal really helps capture the space.
Another tip when asking questions is to try to pull out a story. People love to hear stories, so really ask them how things began, how they got to where they are, and help whoever you're interviewing kind of tell the story. So once you have your community video, it's really important to share it and share it the right way. So we suggest posting it on most of your social channels. For Instagram, you can do photos from the shoot. You can do shorter clips that link to the longer video on either your YouTube or your Facebook page. And then we suggest obviously tagging the place you highlighted and letting them use the video and share it as well. So that way people who follow them can see you and maybe come to your channel. Another tip is to use hashtags that are unique to your community. For our shoot, we shot it in Old Colorado City, so I made sure to use that hashtag. So anybody looking around for that hashtag will find our video and find out about the coffee shop, plus they'll find out about BombBomb.
Another quick tip, when you're editing the video, make sure the first 5 to 10 seconds are very visually engaging, because when it auto plays on Facebook or social media, that's all that most people see when they're just scrolling through. So if the first few seconds are really visually interesting, they might actually tune in and watch the whole video.
So that's it. That's the end of our Salesperson's Guide to Video series.
Thanks for watching.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do have any questions for Matt and I, feel free to drop them in the comments. We will try to get in there and respond to you. But otherwise, you can keep an eye out for our next series we're going to be working on, which will be covering social media.
Yeah, we'll be talking about how video works on different social media platforms and how to best use it.